everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Happiness Matters, the show with your hosts, Mo the service dog, who is sleeping over here because he's not feeling all too well right now, and me, Beanie Man. And today I have a special guest with me. Her name is Sandra Estock. I hope I got that right.
Yes, you did.
And Sandra and I, we got connected through a mutual friend on Facebook, Michelle Maras. Thank you so much for the connection. And I'm excited to have you on the show today, Sandra. And I'm excited for you to share your story and what you're all about, because I think it's really important for everybody, especially these days.
Thank you, Vinny. I'm so excited to be in your show.
Thanks.
And thank you, Mo, for having me too, because he's a co-host in your
That's
show.
Right.
So thank you both.
You're welcome. Thank you. No, it's really exciting because I love connecting with people. I mean, right now it's all across America, and I know it's just a matter of time before we go international, you know, and everybody, we all have a story.
Yes.
And I love what Lisa Nichols says, and I say it in almost every show, your story isn't yours to keep, or our story, my story isn't mine to keep, or however you want to phrase it, you know, because there's always somebody out there who has a similar story, but they might think they're alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love it.
Yes. And I think sometimes your story sparks the story on somebody else that they didn't even think it was a story. And, you know, every time I'm speaking, the best part that happens to me when I leave the stage is everyone connects to my story, but they're like, this happened to me and that happened to me. And that's the moment where we make that real connection. And it's
right.
exciting.
No, I love it. And I totally agree. Oh. I'm trying to figure out, I'm playing over here, I'm looking over here because this whole thing is up, but I'm going to move you right under the camera so it looks like I'm actually looking at the camera. So you're right below my camera.
Yes.
So it looks like I'm looking in the camera.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. We saw that same movie.
Just age ourselves.
Yes.
No, it's all cool. So tell us a little bit about you, like who you are, what you're all about, and why do you do what you do? Because I assume, you know, because with the topic, something happened to you.
Yeah, so absolutely, Vinny. I was returning from visiting my mom in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the plane, and the pilot said, "Welcome to Miami. We have Homeland Security officers boarding." And as I hand my passport to the officer, he said, "You're coming with us." Yeah. And they walk me, just me, out of the plane. And they throw me into the room. Yes, Vinny, that room. You know, I missed my connecting flight. My husband was waiting for me in Chicago.
Right.
10 hours later, I'm allowed to call my husband.
10 hours?
10 hours. And I am called, honey, I'm okay. And finally, they call my name and they hand back my passport, revoked. You know, at the time, I was under a working visa with the employer that I was working, who processed everything for me.
Right.
So they let me come home. I took the last flight leaving from Miami to Chicago. I landed at 3 a.m. in the morning. And the next day, you know, we started working with attorneys. And a couple of weeks later, I'm back in Venezuela. I'm from Venezuela.
Okay.
And I'm processing a new visa, you know, again, with the support of attorneys and a bunch of people helping me to go through this. And I'm in the interview in the U.S. Embassy. And it's very different than other interviews I have been before. They start questioning me.
It must have been terrifying.
They start questioning me about China. Like, what were you in China? Who do you know in China? Who's your contact there? And I'm like...
And you're thinking, what the fire truck, right?
What are you talking about? Yeah, I've never been in China. I've never even traveled to Asia, ever. And they kept asking, and finally, I'm like, why? And they say, well, somehow a Chinese smuggler got a hold of your information and have been smuggling women into the US using your identity.
Oh no, oh my gosh. I
Yes.
mean, of all things, human trafficking is like the most atrocious of all things imaginable.
Yes.
Wow.
And in that moment, I'm like, oh, but they gave me a new visa. I get a new passport, and I'm like, well, everything is okay. I'm back home. At the time, I was working in a project in Europe, and I used to travel a lot, like a couple times, even in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 weeks later, I'm in a plane. I'm returning from Europe. We land. I get off the plane. I get to passport control, and I hand my passport to the officer. And he walked me right back into the room. Yes. You know why this time, Vinny? I have to prove that I was me. Yes. And this.
How do you prove that? Here's my fingerprints. I mean.
Well, you have to later, once you understand this, because it happened every time I travel for 6 years.
Oh, help me, Jiminy.
Yes, so I have to prove that I was me. So I travel with a bunch of documents and, my birth certificate.
It's like, can I have an extra suitcase just for my stuff that I have to prove I'm me?
And, when I Googled my name at the time, everything was in Chinese. My name had been used not only, to smuggle women into the US, but they were also using my name to register companies. So my name, I have the incorporated or limited, like everything everything was in Chinese.
Wow.
And with my name. And
that's scary. Oh my goodness.
I have 2 names and 2 last names, because that's how we grew up. You have
right.
Your maiden name, your mom's name and your father's, and my 4 names were everything, taken. And the funny part was, like, nobody wanted to travel with me.
Can't imagine why.
So not even my own husband. My husband will say, honey, you're going on vacation. Can you leave the day before so we can be at the same time?
I mean, it's funny now.
It's funny now, yeah.
At the time, it's like, it's sad. And that's really scary. Did you ever figure out where they stole your identity from, where that happened?
No, we never. And, I never gave my passport except when you go to a hotel. And at the time, I was not even conscious that it was an identity theft situation. I wasn't working in cybersecurity. It was more in IT. And years later, when I entered the cybersecurity world, I understood what happened to me.
Wow.
And I understood that, wow, yeah, this happens. And in my case, it took me 6 years, because until I became a US citizen, I changed my name, I have a new passport, everything absolutely is okay now.
Right.
But, once you are in the system, it's very difficult for you to be out, to be clear, because they don't know that you are really you.
Right.
So you prove that. It's like,
that's
you're guilty until proven otherwise.
So, so you dealt with this for 6 years, and I'm sure it's been a while since you became a citizen. So that was let's just say it was quite a while ago. Yes. And the internet wasn't quite what it is now. Yes. And electronics wasn't quite what it is now. So that's even scarier, I think, because it's like, it's so much easier now for criminals to get your information.
Absolutely. And when you think about identity theft, this isn't about just your name, because when someone
that's everything
impersonates you, they have access to everything you own. This is your business, your personal finances, or your family. Someone pretending to be you, it's a big deal. And we see it in different degrees. Like today, I have a friend that their phone got swapped to a different phone. So what hackers do is, if you don't have a PIN number in your account at your carrier, so let's say AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, whoever is your carrier, you have to have that PIN number. Otherwise, someone can just pretend to be you, and they convince the operator that they are actually you, and that you lost your phone. And they have these elaborated ways to convince people to help them. I mean, they will put a recording of a baby crying, and she's so scared because she lost her phone, and her husband is traveling. She doesn't know what to do, and then the operator, who's a mom or has a family, has empathy and relates to that person's situation, and they are like, yeah, I'm gonna help you. Let's just, you have a new phone, I'll just transfer the phone to you. When in reality, it's someone trying to impersonate you and just rob now your phone number. When that happens, everything that is associated with your phone number, it's in somebody else's hands. So think about your bank account. When you have to authenticate, when you have to access, usually sends you a PIN number and say, hey, put this information. So now somebody else got that PIN number. That they have your text, they have your messages, they have your content. I mean, everything that you have on your phone now belongs to somebody else until you realize that's happening.
Right. That's scary. So it's like, for me, for instance, I'm signed up with a monitoring company, and I mean, I'm amazed. They are fairly quick, and first thing I get a phone call. Yeah, it's automated, but it's a phone call. It's like, hey, this is our first time reaching out. Then I get the email, I get the text and everything, and it's like, wow.
Yes.
That's like, would you recommend that to everybody sign up with something, or how do we protect ourselves? I mean, everything is digital these days.
Absolutely.
Everything is digital, and it's like, somebody has to get hold of your phone number.
Yeah.
They can get everything.
And I think there are many things we can do to prevent that happens. And I think that's the foundation and the basics that we have to learn. In my case, I'm a scuba diver that didn't know how to swim when I became a scuba diver, and I didn't know the basics, and I almost drowned someone, and it's crazy.
Hold on. So
yes.
I'm working through that right now.
Yes,
you
I know.
didn't know how to swim, but you thought it would be a good idea to go scuba diving?
Yes. I was afraid of the water, and I just...
Well, that's a way to fight your fear.
Yes. But the point is, I didn't have the basics at the time when I did that. And the consequences for me was I almost drowned someone, I put myself in danger, others in danger. And I think there's no different in cybersecurity when we don't know the basics. And to your point, yes, you could sign for services and they are great, but they are more reactive service. They are going to just tell you, hey, this happened to you. Now you have to clean it up, and now you have to go through the process. If you take this a step back and you start implementing the basics and start learning like how to recognize, an email that, is suspicious, how to, like in this case for the swapping of the phone, something as simple as calling your provider and say, I want a PIN number in my phone. That's it. I mean, so those are simple things we all can do. If you think about when you are in a public place, and you see these smart chargers, where you can plug your phone, those public devices are very easily to be infected, to steal information. Yes, because anything public.
The cable?
Well, the smart ones where it's a USB that you just connect. It's not an electric outlet.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Remember, you know those. Those, anyone can access them. Anyone can put anything in there that it's malicious, and we don't know that. And sometimes we have the need to charge our phones. And again, my approach is I'm trying to make cybersecurity simple. So I don't want to say, hey, never use this, never do that, never do this, because we live in this cyber world. But what I can say is, if you need to charge your phone in a public smart device, just power your phone off completely and then charge it.
So not even putting it in airplane mode won't work then?
So something like that where it's not even connected. So you don't want your phone to be connected at all.
Okay.
You want it to be powered off.
Gotcha.
So if because even if it's on their airplane mode, if there's software in that smart charger, it can go into your phone
Yeah. Do
because
you
you're
hear that,
connecting it
guys? Turn
correctly.
it off.
Turn it
Turn
off.
it off.
Something that
The world will
simple.
still continue to turn.
Yeah, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, charge your phone, and then move on. I mean, turn it on and keep going. If you
Right.
have to do that, better carry your own charger and just put it into your, electric outlet, and don't worry about, that.
Mm-hmm. That's
Uh,
great. That's great advice, because I mean, I see so often, I mean, it doesn't even matter where anymore these days.
mhm.
There's always a place where you can plug in your phone. Uh,
Yes,
Starbucks, airports, McDonald's. I mean, you name it. And I never even thought about
yes,
that. It's like, I mean, it's USB. It's just I charge my phone. I don't, because that's me. But I see people
yeah,
all the time, and they have it plugged in, and while it's plugged in charging, they're on their phone.
yes, they are.
And it's like, hey, the power of awareness.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
and even if you have to do that, accessing information, buying something. I mean, those are all the things that you don't want to be doing in a public Wi-Fi or in a public charger, because any data that you're sending can now be compromised.
Right. So it's like, how you can pay with your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, that I wouldn't do it, because I mean, just the thought of it doesn't feel safe to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hear you. I mean, there are pros and cons to everything.
well,
And
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that I would not do, like
Mhm,
using my phone to pay. Yeah, it's convenient, it's easy. But
mhm.
the only thing I pay with is I have my Starbucks card on here.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, because
Yeah.
they use their scanner thingy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but other than that, I would never do that. Or you just put your phone or whatever on the, no,
Yes.
that just doesn't make sense to
I
me.
hear you. I hear you. And again, once you get into the habit of, to your point, you're doing it. There are a few things that you decided not to do. I think once you make that decision, you're in control.
Right.
And that's, I think, in my opinion, what I'm looking for everyone that is listening, and everyone that some point I will be creating content, and I will be doing more and more training and materials that are going to explain what cybersecurity is and how easy you can implement it in your life. Because
Right.
not everything has to be, it's a learning curve. Not
Mm-hmm.
everything has to be done right away. It's a muscle that you have to develop.
Oh,
And you
yeah,
develop that
absolutely.
muscle over time
Mm-hmm.
until it becomes like your second nature. You're not gonna click on that email by default, or you're not gonna be just accepting a friend request from someone you don't know. Like you start developing that mindset.
Well, it's a power of awareness. And I talk
So,
about that all the time. It's like, have that awareness, pay attention.
yes,
And it's like, don't go after everything that's shiny, or,
yes,
because everybody is doing it doesn't mean it's the right thing, or it's a safe thing, or, it's like, no, use your gut instinct. If your gut is telling you, maybe
yeah,
I should reevaluate that,
absolutely.
reevaluate it.
Hmm. And I think what in my experience I have seen is very difficult for some people to see that in the online world, because it seems so easy. Like
Right.
if it's 10 o'clock at night and you're going through a dark alley, your instincts will kick off. Your body will get ready and will be sensing like what's going on around you, because it's dark, because you're in an area
Right.
you don't know. You don't have that. We don't have that online. I mean, that instinct is what we need to develop. And it's not that you have to be all the time scared. It's more that you have to know where you are, how you navigate that world in
Right.
a safe way for you and for your family and for
Right.
your business and everything you have.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the military, they actually teach situational awareness.
Yes.
And that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, be aware of your surroundings, be aware, just have that, again, the power of awareness, just be aware, you know, pay attention. And it's like, you know, and they also tell you, like, walking a certain way. Now, if you walk hunched and timid and everything, you're an easy target. If you walk tall, you know, with a purpose, that's already a deterrent right there. That right there is a deterrent. I mean, just the way you carry yourself, you know, sends a message to a potential perpetrator. It makes a big difference. So yeah, that situational awareness, it's like, hey, you know, I might walk with a limp and everything, but I have a mo.
Absolutely. That's your protector.
You know, and he's the sweetest, but I know he will protect me.
Yeah.
You know, and knowing that, or even when I'm walking with my crutch, I know how to use my crutch. And not just for walking. So, but I'm not too concerned. You know, because again, that situational awareness and paying attention to the surroundings. I mean, there's certain things it's like, yeah, no, I would not do that, you know. And I have asked, like, store clerks or something if they can walk me to my car. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, if you have a funny feeling, listen to that funny feeling.
Yes.
Okay, we may not see what's going on, but we always feel it. You know, and if there's a funny feeling telling you, it's like, ooh, it's scared to walk out in the park, even in daylight, you know, it's like, ask a clerk, ask a security guard, somebody, you know, to walk with you, or strike up a conversation with another patron, you know, where you get a safe feeling. And it's like, hey, let me walk out with you. How are you doing today? And da, 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 da. And before you know it, you're in your car, you're safe, or wherever it is. You know, it's just, it doesn't take much, but you have to have that situational awareness. And I'm with you on that one.
And I think the same way in cyber exactly happens. So when you get a phone call from the IRS or from the, Social Security telling you, hey, you know.
But hey, I'm friends with a prince and he has like billions of dollars waiting for me. So I'm good.
Yes, exactly. But you know, you'll be surprised how many people still sometimes believe that.
Right. Well, because I think because those perps, you know, they try on your fears and on your needs. It's like, I mean, who doesn't need money? Who doesn't need X, Y, and Z?
Yes.
You know, so they're preying on that, and that's what they're going after. So if you're in a really desperate place, and sadly most people are, you know, it's like, hey, maybe this is true. Well, chances are, if it's too good to be true.
Yes. That's what I say. Yes.
It probably is.
Probably
it's not. You know, if it sounds too good to be true, there is your sign. Listen to your gut.
I agree.
But yeah, no, those scammers, and they don't even talk to you anymore. It's like all automated. And the other thing, and I don't know about you, and I don't know if I'm jumping the gun on that, but you know, now they're getting so sophisticated. They're using your area code.
Yeah.
And what I'm noticing more and more, they're using the first 3 numbers of my phone number too, other than, I mean, past the area code. And I don't answer those. I just let it go to, if I don't recognize the number, if I don't know who it is, it's going to voicemail. Because my philosophy is, if they really want to talk to me, they leave a message. And I'll be more than happy to call back. But if it's a number that I don't know, and I have learned to never call back.
Yeah.
Don't, if you don't recognize the number, don't call that number to find out who it was.
Yeah.
Because they're phishing on that one too, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, there's one way that you could use if you want to call, you don't want your caller ID number, but your ID on your phone to be seen by the other person. It's star 67. So when you dial your that phone number with that at the beginning, it won't show your own number. So
okay, and they still can't trace the call back then either?
No.
Oh, okay.
But to your point, you know, you don't really have to be calling. What I do when I see a number like that, you know, the FTC has a service where you can report suspicious, you know, numbers. You can also block or register in do not call list. in the
Yeah,
PC.
that's working sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, because bots are
Right.
more and more present, and they do that all the time.
Right. Now on the callback too, because, and I don't know if this is true or not, and the reason I say I never call these numbers back, because I heard or read somewhere, I don't remember, that even though it looks like it's a local number, it can reroute you to some foreign country, and then you get stuck with the phone bill on top of everything.
Yes.
And that's why I'm like, not touching that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good. Smart to do. Absolutely.
I mean, because my thing is, if people really want to talk to me, they will leave a
Yes,
message
absolutely. And then
or text me, because my phone number, it's also my cell number.
yes.
You know, if you really want to talk to me, text me, let me know it's really you. But now I'm getting spam texts too. So, but
Yes.
with the phone, you know, leave a message.
Yeah, what I use, I do a habit. Every time I answer the phone, if I'm waiting for a phone call from someone that I won't recognize the number and I have to answer, I don't say hello right away. I will wait 2-3 seconds, and I will wait for the other person to, to see if it's a person or really a bot, because you never know.
Right. See, and I do it a little different. I answer the phone. I said, "Hey, this is Beanie," and then I'll wait, and I count to 1,
Yep.
2, 3. If there's nothing, click. I might say hello again.
Yeah.
But usually I count to 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If there's nothing, bye.
Yep. Same way.
It's like, I don't have time for that.
Yes.
Who's time for that? So anyway, sidetrack. But it's important to know, because we all get it, and we all and especially the elder generation.
Yes.
You know, I mean, they're sadly such easy prey. You know, and I mean, there's a few things, and that goes for you. I mean, for any age, you know.
Yeah.
Situational awareness.
Yeah, I think that there's a trust. They trust. I think they have this innate. I don't know how to say that, but innate this trusting.
No, they're more trusting than we are.
Yeah. So and they tend to believe, when someone is in trouble, like I was in a presentation and I left the stage and someone came and said, "This is happening to me. I got a phone call with someone telling me that my son has been kidnapped and that I had to pay a ransom." And I was panicking, and I couldn't reach my, they diverted the phone call and canceled, or limited the ability for the mom to call the boy and validate that he's actually not home. And in reality, he was home, and they were ready to start wiring the money and doing that. And somehow a neighbor came and he was home and he's fine.
Wow.
But that happens.
Oh yeah.
And it happens a lot to grandpa or grandma, where you get a notification, hey, your grandkid is in trouble. He doesn't want, his
The parents to know. Blah, blah,
Can you help him? And blah, blah, blah. And they believe that. Unfortunately,
That's scary. I mean, that is real. And, I'm thinking, I mean, it's super scary, but I'm thinking all these crooks, if they would use their ingenuity and their time and effort and put it into a real business, oh my gosh, they'd be rocking and rolling. And they wouldn't have to look over their shoulder all the time being worried about getting caught.
The reality, maybe, is that it's a business. And I think that's the scary part, because cybersecurity or cybercrime, actually, it's much bigger right now than any cartel and any drug dealing business.
Wow.
So it overcame that. So that's why you see more and more, because all the traditional crime move into underground and cybercrime.
Right.
You're now behind a keyboard. It's hard to trace you. It's much easier for you to rob and steal and do the things that you used to do physically, but now you just don't have to.
That's scary. Holy wow.
Yeah, and that's why it's a $1 trillion industry,
right.
And that's why it's so important that we take control, that we start taking the actions, and that we start learning the basics. And there are many things, as I mentioned to you before, that we can start doing, that we can incorporate in our daily lives. And then cybersecurity becomes second nature to us. We won't be an easy prey anymore. I mean, I'm not saying it's bulletproof and you'll never get hacked and nobody's
right,
because the reality, this is, it happens all the time and it happens so often. But you want to reduce the chances of being you, because you don't take care of the basics. You never update your phone. You never update your computer. You don't have a PIN number in your phone or computer. You never change your password. So there are many basic things that you could have,
right,
that will definitely improve your security posture and where you are, and it will reduce the chance for you to be a victim of cybercrime.
right.
Okay.
You know, I'm just thinking, if you would not have traveled back when,
yeah, I wouldn't know.
you would have never found out.
Yes.
Which, I'm looking at it, that's almost scarier.
Yeah, and it happens all the time, because sometimes your identity get used for illicit activities. It could be years until you realize that that's happening, or the FBI or authorities are knocking in your door because your name is showing up into illicit things, and that happens too.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
It happens at many levels. Again, what I'm trying to do with cybersecurity is, rather than, paralyze you and scare you, I want to do a spinning on cybersecurity and help you find inspiration, help you find a connection with the stories, and help you find that encourage message that we can do it, and that yes, it's hard. There are a bunch of people out there that are looking after our money, our identities, our everything, but we have the power to take action, and to stop that, and together we can do it.
Right. And I love that. And I'm glad you're doing what you do, because a lot of times, there's so many people that feel totally helpless.
Yes.
And even, before and now, especially after something has happened,
yes.
They're really paralyzed by the fear, and it's like, oh my God, what do I do? And then they go in this panic,
yes.
Which now they're even easier prey for those that prey on those. And it's really scary. It's like, so we're a military family, and sadly we're a big target. A lot of times it's like, because we've been at war for forever in a day now, so one of the scams that are out there, that service family members, we get calls and we're told that our service member, got in trouble in whatever country. And it doesn't take much research, sadly, and it's like, whoa, for real?
Yeah.
And it's scary, but we're worried about our service member to begin with when they're in a war zone. Now we have this added worry and stress on top of us. And it's like, what do we do? What do we do? What do you do? And it's like, stop. The best thing to do is really stop, take a deep breath, contact your unit.
Yes.
If you haven't heard from your service member, contact your unit. Talk to the Rear D commander and say, hey, I just got this message. I need to get a hold of my service member. There is a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a way to find out whether what the number that message you just got from whoever, if that's just real or not. Contact your unit. Do your own research. Take the steps. Don't. At first your heart sinks and you go in this panic mode, but stop.
Yeah, don't engage.
First thing you do is pick up the phone and call your Rear D commander.
Yeah.
And find out.
If for everything, if you get an email saying, hey, your credit card is going to be canceled, your taxes
all
are
right,
paid,
that means I don't have to pay it.
You're in trouble. Like, don't react right away. Just, most probably a bank is not going to send you that communication. Just call your bank, go to your bank, go
Right.
to call the IRS, to just, validate, call that friend that sent you this email that, it's too good to be true before you click on it and
Right.
start developing that mindset.
Mm-hmm. So I have another question, because I mean, most of us are on Facebook,
Yes.
you know, and every so often, I mean, it's a cycle. We get the message in our messenger from a friend, and it's a picture. It's not even, they didn't even type it. Okay. Or it's copied and pasted, whatever. Most of the time it's a picture. Oh my gosh, you have been hacked. I don't think this is you, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So, and I was told, and I don't know, but I ignore those. I
Mhm.
ignore those. I don't click on it. I do nothing, and I don't even respond. It's like, but I was told, and I don't, maybe you can tell me, if we click on that message, you know, is there a way, I mean, would they like get my information then? But because I now opened that message, and it's
Yes.
a phishing thing. I mean, to me, it's like, but people, and I don't even know if people are actually really forwarding that message
Mhm.
because they got it from somebody and they're going into that panic mode.
Mhm.
Okay. Or was their account hacked?
Mhm.
My guess is their account was hacked
Mhm.
and somebody's sending that out to get now my information and hack my account.
Yeah, sometimes when if you click on an infected link or a phishing email, either in social media, a text, or your phone, anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
what happens usually is that program, it's called malware, could use your own contact list to try to get others to click. And
Mm.
yes, it will, in some cases, it will get access to that hacker, to that person that wanted to get into your computer, and they could see your information. They could see, I mean, there are different types of malware. One that every time you type your password and your user, they can record the keystrokes that you have. So they have now your password
That's crazy.
and your user, or in some cases, you get into a ransomware situation, which is when your computer, if you click on the link that is infected, your computer gets encrypted. And you get a message saying, hey,
Oh, you have to pay a ransom to get your
we
computer
pay a
back?
ransom if you want your computer, your pictures, whatever you have either in your phone or in your computer, you want it back. And it's
Wow.
very common.
Huh.
So the best
Now,
advice is don't click on in anything that you
right.
see, delete those messages. If it's something that important that someone sent you, validate that before.
Okay.
And yeah, and you could also, there are also tools online that are free. I mean, Google has a tool where you can check that link before clicking into anything, and that's one of the things that I will be providing more details.
Oh, okay.
Because again, the reality that we have is we live in a cyber world.
You're right.
Now we have to figure ways for checking or validating and learning how to recognize,
Mm-hmm.
when something is suspicious or when something
Right.
is not
And the
safe.
hackers are getting smarter and smarter too,
Absolutely.
and it's
That's
like,
what we have to. I mean, they get smarter, and we have to
keep
level
up.
up.
Right.
Yes, in
Mm-hmm.
order, for that to reduce the chances of us becoming a victim of cybercrime.
Right. Right. So say somebody encrypts my computer,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and it has my stuff on it.
Yep.
Would my information be safe if I have all my stuff in a cloud-based, like, what is it, iCloud or
Yeah.
Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that?
Yeah, if you do backups in a regular base and you maintain those, and I don't advertise any free service, because every time, what I think, when there is a free service, something is the product, and sometimes
Well,
that product is you.
there is no free.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my philosophy. So I always pay for my storage. It's very cheap nowadays. And yes, and you have multiple ways to back up your computer. And yeah, the best way if you get a ransomware is, hopefully you have your backups, just restore your computer from your backup and move on.
Right.
You
Right.
might lose some information, but if you pay the ransom, the chances that you will get information, you may or may not after you pay.
Well, and
Or
the thing is, my thing is, it's like if you pay them, they already got in once.
yes,
You know, how do I know they didn't install something? So
yeah,
6 months from now, they can do the whole thing over.
yes, absolutely,
So it's crazy.
absolutely.
So, of course, my next question is there any kind of like antivirus and all of that's better than the other? Is there one that you would recommend? I mean, that question was coming.
Definitely there are many different products and many companies. One of the things that I want to do is I will be comparing different solutions, and I will give, you'll have the choice.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's your decision which one. So
Right.
I mentioned to you, I'm writing a book. My book will be published, but it's a series of books.
Oh, I like that.
And the first book is about the foundation and how we can understand the why and the how, the why and the what of cybersecurity, but
Mm-hmm.
with a spin, because I'm using my stories, my personal stories
Right.
to explain that and
That's
to
awesome.
connect with you. But then the series goes into the how, and to your question about how can I protect my computer, there would be a book specific to how to protect your computer, your phone, and your devices. And you'll have not only tools, but things you can do in a daily basis, or in
I like that.
Regular basis. And there will be different degrees
Nice.
of complexity of the things that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I will have one for when you travel, for your password, for your identity, because not everything works the same.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the situation. I mean, what you
Right.
do for protecting your social media is different to what you do to protect, your phone, or to protect your website, to protect, the information that you have in the cloud. So
Nice.
and instead of creating a gigantic book, what I realize is much easier, since I want to make cybersecurity simple. I want to just give it to you in a simple format that
Bite-sized
you can get it.
pieces.
Yes, you can
like
get it right away, and I will be covering and complementing those books with content. And definitely there will be one about the best password manager, the best antivirus, anti-malware, anti-spyware. I mean, there are so many different products.
That's awesome. So, and when is the book coming out? The
It
series?
will be in early in 2020. The first book will be out.
Nice.
And I'm writing now the third one, so we're just working on the details for the launch. And
Nice, because that question was coming. I mean, you open up the,
yes.
And I'm a curious soul. No, this is amazing, and there's so much good information and so many nuggets, and it's really that situational awareness is like, pay attention and don't believe everything you see.
Yes.
Because how's the saying? Not everything that shines is gold, or whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
And question things. It's like, and yeah, I mean, they're preying on your fears and everything, and your heart sinks. My heart sinks sometimes when I get something, and then I take a step back and I'm like, nice try, asshole, and I move on. I delete it and I move on. But that initial feeling, it's like, wow. And if I were where I was years ago on my mindset, I would totally buy into that.
Absolutely. And I think there are two sides of the coins, because some people, exactly like you describe it, they are in that, things happen to them, they might be more fearful. Then the other side is, you think it won't happen to you ever. Like, oh, this just my business. I don't have a business.
Right.
I am not rich. I'm not famous. This isn't about me. Or it's so hard. I better do nothing because I don't understand cybersecurity or I don't understand technology.
Ignorance is not bliss, guys.
Yeah. So I think in all those cases, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because there is an answer that I want to give you. There is a different way for either if you don't believe it can happen to you, or you're afraid of technology, or you're actually afraid of, knowing this stuff really happens,
Right.
that you can have a source, not only with the books, but with me and the content that I will be putting out there, because we need that.
Absolutely. I agree. And we need it in a way, that's easy to understand. None of that mumbo jumbo jargon, and because it's like,
yes.
if I don't understand it, I won't use it.
Yes.
And I think everybody is that way, because if it doesn't compute here, and I don't understand, and I don't understand the steps to do, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, because I'm not going to read this or listen to this. And then now I have more questions. Now I need to find another source, and then possibly another source.
Yeah.
No. So I love that you're doing this, and I love that you want to really dumb it down for us.
Well, I want to change the perception of cybersecurity, and I want to make cybersecurity simple.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I appreciate you for that. And I cannot wait to get my hands on your books, on your series.
Yes.
Because, I'll be reading it, because I think it's important.
Yes.
It is so important. And I was like, wow, see, I can talk this because there's so many questions. And as we're talking, more coming, but I think we covered the big ones.
Yes.
The ones that are really on everybody's mind, because those are when I knew that you and I were talking, in my head I was like, oh, and this, and I need to ask this. Because if it's happening to me, I know it's happening to everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just simple like that. So thank you, Sandra, so much for being on, for sharing for giving us all this amazing information. And I will put your contact information in the credits. So if you guys have questions, for Sandra, not me, because I haven't read her book yet, so I'm not the source.
Yeah,
but so people can reach out to you, because this is just so important.
Yeah, and I want to have a gift for your audience too.
Oh.
Yes. So I will have a short checklist that you can get. If you go to makingcybersecuritysimple.com.
Okay.
So you're going to get that, and hopefully, it's the beginning of me sharing with you this, there are just 3 simple steps you can do to protect your identity.
Right.
And, like I said, we're going to make it simple. So
thank you so much. Thank you for the gift. This is awesome. I'm like, wow, thank you. I was like, I love you. No, this is awesome. So guys, check out the link at the end of the this little video. Go to Sandra's link, get your download, and thank you so much for being on and for sharing all this amazing information, and really for keeping it simple.
Thank you. Thank you for having me being in your show.
Anytime.
Thank you for what you're doing. It's so amazing. And
thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So, and speaking of gifts, guys, I have a gift for you too. 2 gifts, 1 show. How cool is that? Go to giftfrombeanie, BEENIE.com, and download your quick guide to happiness, because happiness matters. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Sandra, for being on. And as always, be happy, be kind, be love. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.